My name is Kai. When I was 17, me and my friends were hanging out one night and decided to watch a movie, making some popcorn. The movie was a hilarious thing. We had a good time laughing and eating popcorn and other snacks. When the movie was done, it was around 11:30 p.m. It already turned to pitch black outside. One of my friends, we'll call him Spencer, suggested that it would be a good idea to play a game of Spotlight. Spotlight is basically hide and seek, but in the dark, and the seeker has a flashlight. Where I live, my house is in a cul-de-sac, and if you walk down a little path in the backyard, you end up at a long street. Across that street, there's a giant field that used to have a basketball court and a playground, but it's been torn down since I was 8. So now the giant field was just empty. But there were a lot of bushes and hiding spots, and even a little cornfield, which made it perfect for a game like Spotlight. So we grabbed a few flashlights and headed to the field. After playing a giant game of rock, paper, scissors, it was decided that another friend, we'll call him Braden, was going to be the seeker. So me and Spencer went to hide together in the cornfield, since it would be hard to find someone in there. While I believe 4 other friends, John, Ethan, Liam, and my brother Cameron, went to hide all separately in different places in the field. For some information that'll be needed later on in the story, Spencer was 17, John and Ethan were 16, Braden and Cameron and Liam were 14. Once me and Spencer got comfortable in the cornfields, we started just to talk about random stuff and about the movie we watched earlier. Just as I told Spencer a joke and he started laughing, I put my finger to my lips and told him to shut up because I could hear someone rummaging through the corn and stomping on leaves. We both just sat there thinking it was Braden and hoping that he would find us. I then realized that it sounded like multiple people. Then Spencer said, "Wait, isn't Braden the only seeker?" My heart dropped. I began getting scared but tried not to say anything. I could also see that Spencer was scared too, and I bet he was about to shit his pants. Just then, we heard the men speaking to each other, and they didn't sound like any of our friends. So it was confirmed that there were 2 other men in the cornfields with us. They were talking very quietly, but I could hear some words, boys, snatch, just like that. I felt like time stopped. About a minute later, we heard them walk off, and I'm going to assume that they left the cornfield. But after the 2 men left, we heard someone yelling, "Get the fuck away from me! Help!" It sounded like Cameron. Me and Spencer immediately rushed out of the cornfields and went to find Cameron. Just then, everyone else came out of their hiding spots and went after the 2 men. Spencer and John were the tallest and most muscular, so they went in and beat the shit out of them. John put one in a headlock and threw him to the ground. Then one man sprang at Spencer suddenly. Spencer screamed and took out his large pocket knife he always has with him, and then stabbed him 3 times. As they proceeded to beat them, I went to Cameron, helped him to get up, and yelled for everyone to run. Spencer listened and shoved the guy to the ground, but John didn't listen and continued beating the man. After Spencer pulled John off the man, they both finally ran away. We went back to Spencer's house since it was the closest, and we told everything to his mom, and then she called the police. When the police arrived, we led them down to the field, but of course the men were gone. However, there was still some blood left on the path where Spencer stabbed one of the men, so the police took a sample of it. Once me and Cameron got home, he told me that the man Spencer attacked had a knife, but the other had nothing. I was feeling a little uncomfortable about what we'd done for our self-protection at the cornfield, but then I realized that was a good thing Spencer attacked the man with the knife, because if John tried to attack that man, he could have been stabbed to death as he had no weapon. I'm just thankful none of my friends were hurt that evening. It could have ended much worse. After that, we never heard back from the police, so neither of the men was found.